Hello everybody, and before we actually start the video, I just want to say that we're going to be experiencing a lot of controversial thoughts and feelings from the clips we're actually about to see. And I don't want to tell you guys how you actually should feel, but I just want to implore you guys to try to keep an open mind and open heart to a lot of things that's going on in the Tophiachu life right now. Now, one of the reasons that it took me a little bit of time to cover this story is because I didn't want to do a play-by-play of all the trauma that's going on in her life, and I wanted to give you guys more of a complete story when we had a lot more information to actually work with. Now, if you guys actually haven't been keeping up with the Tophiachu family, but about a month ago, there was a robber that attempted to take Brother Chu's car. The Tophiachu family have two cars. They have the big red one and they have a small colorful one. But during that incident, we don't know if Brother Chu maybe didn't roll down the window fast enough or maybe he refused to open the door. But during that incident, the robber inevitably ended up firing within the car, which struck Mama Chu in the neck, which inevitably sent her to the hospital, and Brother Chu in the head, in the eye, which inevitably caused him to pass away. Now, we don't know where Tophiachu was actually placed in the car. I personally think she was in the back seat, but during this incident, Tophiachu ended up diving outside of the car, and the next clip we're actually about to see is where she is literally right after she dove outside the car. And I don't know if she called the cops before she started recording. I don't know if she recorded the video and then called the cops. But I don't want to judge her trauma response. Maybe this was the way of her dealing with an incredibly dangerous and traumatizing event. But I just want to warn you guys, the next clip we're actually about to see is kind of hard to watch.
Oh my god, guys. Oh my god, my family was shot. They killed my brother. My brother's dead. Oh my god, my mom, he took the car. He stole the car and he got out. I said, get out, get out. And I didn't think my mom. Oh my god. My brother looked dead. Help me. Why? Why? Why did people on the internet? Oh my god. No. No. Why? I have nobody. Why did they do this? You guys, I don't know. My mom may be dead. I should have never left her in the car. I'm sorry. I freaked out because he was trying to take the car. My brother looked dead. Oh my god.
Responded this morning to a reported shooting in the area of Ponderosa, near Montgomery Boulevard, and this was near Montgomery Park. As we've since learned, it sounds like this all started with a vehicle. I think you can see it's resting that way. Was in a parking lot of a church near that park. It's unknown if the individuals were sleeping in the vehicle in that church parking lot or what exactly was going on, but it was about 3:30 in the morning. There were three adults in the vehicle. Apparently someone approached them and maybe tried to carjack the car. One of the victims reported that the driver, who was her brother, was shot. And then the suspect tried to grab her and pull her out of the passenger seat. She was able to get away and flee from the victim. There was another female victim, who I believe is the mother of those two, was also shot. At that point, the suspect fled in their car with the male who was deceased and with the mother who was shot and injured. They came shortly this way, probably less than a mile onto Montgomery. We're right near Georgia Street. At that point, the suspect was driving their car. He crashed out just a little further down here from me, crashed into a black Jeep. Both vehicles are on scene at that point. The individual who was in the black Jeep then got in a confrontation with the suspect who had been driving the car. That individual noticed that there was someone in the driver's seat who was full of blood, and the female as well. A security guard at the apartment complex is down the way here on the south side of Montgomery, then approached the confrontation, and then the confrontation expanded even further, and somehow then they ended up in the parking lot of the apartment complex, the security guard and the suspect. At that point, at least one shot, possibly two shots were fired. The suspect was fatally shot. My understanding is he was transported to the hospital but died either on the way or at the hospital. The female, all three were transported. So the original male was transported, but he died as well. And the mother was transported. She's believed to be in stable condition at this point. And then the last person was the female who got out of the car back at the park. She's okay at this point. She is with law enforcement at this time. Officers, so we do have different scenes here. We have Montgomery, we have where the crash happened, we have the apartment complex, and we have that area near the church and the park. They're looking at vehicles at that area, trying to see where the suspect came from, who he was, who he is, and going from there at this point.
And just to clarify, the security guard belonged to the apartment complex there on Montgomery.
Correct.
He witnessed the whole
shenanigans
going on and the shooting.
He intervened, and my understanding is, the person that was in the Jeep, the other victim, felt like the security guard saved his life, got in, intervened, and helped save him. So that's how that played out. But as we know, this is all very complicated with different scenes, and we're still gathering information and trying to identify everyone to figure out what happened.
Now, I think one of the most obvious things that we could point out that probably was a little weird and misunderstood was Tophiachu's trauma response by literally recording right after she got thrown outside the car. Now, I don't want to disrespect or put down the feelings that she actually had in that video, because we can obviously see that she was going through probably the worst day of her life. But I don't understand the purpose of recording your most traumatic event literally seconds after it happened. I understand that's probably how you deal with a lot of trauma events, and we can obviously understand who Tophiachu is from a lot of the videos that I did and a lot of the things that you guys even understand about her. I don't want to say it's calling for attention. I don't want to say she's looking for attention, but it's very hard to understand the actual reason and purpose that she actually took that video for and posted it online for everybody to judge for themselves, because she obviously knows that people online don't like her, and they're going to take the purpose and the meaning of that video and run with it and misconstrue it in all types of ways. Now, one of the things that I actually want to point out within that video is one of the news reporters was referring to this whole incident as shenanigans. Now, that is basically a word and statement that totally lacks empathy and sympathy. But that's what a lot of the community is actually having a tough time gaining for the events that are actually going on in Tophiachu's life. They're having trouble understanding and having sympathy and empathy for everything that she's going through because they know who Tophiachu is. Now, during the next clips we're actually about to see, I don't want to tell you guys how you should feel about the things that she says. But one of the things that everybody is really not understanding is how she is blaming a lot of the community and a lot of basically everybody else for the problems that she is going through right now. And yes, I'm not going to deny that the community has absolutely made her life terrible and so much harder. But the reasons that she's using for why this event happened is the same exact reason she has been using, and the same exact excuse that she has been using forever on why she can't get in, why she didn't keep the apartment, on why she didn't stay at the hotel, on why she gets fired from every job, on why Donald Jr. got fired from every job. She blames the community for not being able to get up in life or gain any type of stability or progression, when in all reality, if she just got offline and took a little time away from herself that she should be doing at this most traumatic moment in her life. Instead of doing that, she just hops on the internet for I don't know what reason, for sympathy from other people, so she can get sympathy donations, so she can up her status in the internet. I don't know. But it just sucks that even throughout this traumatic event, even though we can all literally see that this is the most terrible event, like it's the most terrible event that somebody can go through. But it sucks that just because it's Tophiachu, that it's hard for us to have empathy and sympathy for her because we know what type of person she is. This is why in the beginning of the video, I really want to implore you guys to try to keep an open mind and open heart to a lot of things she says. Because yes, we may not agree with it. Yes, we may not understand it in the slightest, but this is what she's going through and this is how she's dealing with it. And maybe, just maybe, she's actually going to get a little bit of an understanding of what reality has to be like instead of trying it what you want to make it like. Because you have to start somewhere. And I hope that this event in her life really pushes reality into her head that you have to get certain things done, and you cannot rely on the internet. You cannot rely on these imaginary friends and supporters to take care of you, and you have to take care of yourself and your family.
Hey guys, so I want to come on here and just say something. Obviously I'm taking a break, but if anyone makes a GoFundMe, I know there are two. unless it's approved by me, which those are not. Please do not donate to any GoFundMes right now. I do not want anyone to get scammed. Please. So if you see any GoFundMes and someone saying they made a GoFundMe on my behalf, unless it's someone from my brother's friends, which I know some of his friends might be raising money, I'll have to get that figured out, and I will let you guys know that, because everything happened so fast. I think they did really want to help and put something together. I will let you know about that, but there are 2 GoFundMes. Please do not donate to any GoFundMes that I have not personally posted or approved myself, okay? I do not want anyone to get scammed. Me and my family will be working on a GoFundMe if we need any other expenses. As for right now, please, y'all on the GoFundMe. My brother's friend started. Someone said that they had a large YouTuber share it. Thank you. I didn't share it because yesterday was the first time that I visited my mom, that I was able to see her. I'm sorry, a lot is going on. It's a lot to process. You know? I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying not to be emotional. You know, I'm trying to hold it in, because I don't want to cry too much. But thank you all for your support. And yes, I know he started it. If you want to donate to that, you can. But my personal GoFundMe will be made for any extra expenses that I need. Everyone's helping bring money together, but you know, everyone's helping to put money together. And as you know, there's so much expenses. We're going to have help with my mom's medical bills, and some of the funeral expenses. But you know, it's so much more. It's rebuilding, possibly getting a car, learning to drive, so I can take my mom. I don't even know how to navigate anymore. I just feel so scared. I can't even. I have to process. You know, when I'm out at night, I worry. I watch my back. I can't live a normal life anymore. But thank you guys for your support. It means so much. I can't tell you how much it means. You know, thank you. And I know I was advised not to post on social media, but I needed to update y'all. I don't know how to do things without not posting on social media, like the financial stuff. You know, I wish we would have got help sooner. I don't know. You know, I just want to feel okay. I feel like I could live life and continue, you know, go out. I'm so scared. Please, be careful. It could happen to anyone, you know. The gun violence is so bad. Take care of yourselves, guys, please. Take care of yourself. Okay?
Now I'm honestly really trying not to nitpick everything she says, because I can't. This is very hard for me. Like, I'm not trying to play around, but it's very difficult to hear her cry and hear her beg for her brother. But she doesn't understand. She really doesn't understand why things like this are happening, and why things like this even occurred, and had the chance of occurring, because she said she didn't get any help. She did get help. She got help from multiple people. She got sent thousands of dollars. She got donations on her TikTok live. She refused to go to homeless shelters for many reasons. She had money. She was going to Comic-Con. She was buying fast food. She was paying for car insurance. She was paying for other things. So she had money. But she didn't want to pay for a hotel. She didn't want to pay for any kind of apartment, because she wanted to wait to get a home. Maybe she could afford a hotel, but she wanted to wait till she actually could afford an apartment. She had help. She had chances to fix this herself. And once again, I'm trying not to disrespect and nitpick everything she says, but I want you guys to be informed. I want you guys to be informed on the fact that she says these things and I feel these things and I wholeheartedly feel sympathy and empathy for her, but she had chances to negate the situation, and this could have been avoided. This honestly could have been avoided if she just made the hard decision in not buying certain things, not going certain places, not eating out all the time, and just playing for a place so they can safely stay.
I also want to come on here and say, out of respect for my brother, please do not refer to him as Brother Chu. He did not like that name. He did not like that name at all. Please, out of respect for my brother, his name was Donald. Please do not refer to him as Brother Chu. I know people gave him that name, but he did not like that name. Please. That's all I ask. I know everyone's trying to be polite and kind, but if you can, don't refer to him as Brother Chu. He never liked that. And my mom never liked to be called Mama Chu either. You know, I think she might have said, you know, because she kind of accepted a little bit, but please, out of respect for my family, do not refer to my father as Papa Chu, my mom as Mama Chu, or Brother Chu, please. I just want to come on here and say something, and I know I don't owe anyone an explanation, but it's really making me angry. What is a man trying to carjack me, unalive my brother right in front of me, to carjack my car and steal my car? I don't understand why people are saying it's my fault. Gun violence happens every day, and people are unalived every day because nobody cares. It's so messed up. You know, I tried so hard to stay away from those negative comments, but that comment section is so nasty. They have the nerve to blame me for something. It was the wrong place, wrong time, and I wish we was never there. You know, it could happen to anyone. It could happen to anyone. Like, I cried so much that, you know, I can't even cry anymore. You know, we could have been at the store. We could have went to Walmart. We could have been enjoying the park late night, you know. We could have been doing anything. And for me, it's scary not knowing that, you know, you could be somewhere and someone carjacks you and you go through the same situation. To say, oh, she didn't get off the internet, she didn't do this, she should have got a job, she should have done that, her brother would still be here, don't defend him. My brother is dead. My brother wasn't the horrible person that he was portrayed online. My brother had friends. He had a life. He was only 27 years old. He was supposed to make it to 30. He didn't even get to make it to 30. My brother was supposed to take his trip to California to see his favorite YouTubers. You know, DDE, their Daily Driven Exotics. You kept telling me how he was so excited to take the trip. How he really wanted to meet these guys. My brother's supposed to be here. He's supposed to be enjoying life. He's supposed to be happy. And he's not here. He's not here. Oh my God. Oh, I can't. My brother had a life ahead of him. He can't even enjoy. I had to look over and see my brother dead. He was murdered right in front of me. He was taken from me. I will never get that image out of my head. I have to live with that for the rest of my life. No, I feel guilt. Why? You know, I should have been in the driver's seat. He didn't deserve that. It's tough. It's hard. I have to process this. I have to relive that moment over and over again. Why? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. I never wanted cash apps. I never wanted help. For people to say that I'm taking people's money, it literally notifies people on Cash App when it fails to go through. So for me saying, like, if it fails to go through, send it to my PayPal, they've already gotten their money back because, you know, it fails to go through. My brother deserves so much more in life than what he was treated. He wasn't treated like a human being. The guy jumped in and sat on my dead brother and drove off. He left my brother like that. I try so hard to push it out. I try so hard to say, you know, don't react. Hold it in. Please, no more crying. My brother deserved life. And some guy who only thought of himself didn't think he was worth anything. He jumped in the driver's seat. He jumped in the driver's seat and sat on my dead brother and took off. He didn't even have no remorse. I can't process. My brother was murdered right in front of me, and I had to see that. I had to see that. As if life wasn't beating me down already. You know, I kept telling everybody, I said, it's not safe out here. Help, help. You know, I don't want to be rude, but now everybody wants to be like, it's too far now. Why did my brother have to die for anybody to care? He never should be dead. He should be alive. He was only 27 years old. He should have had a life. He should have been a father. He should have had kids. I'm alone. My mom's in the hospital. You know, I'm alone. And when my mom dies, I don't have anybody. I don't have my sibling. He's gone.
I'm really not trying to get too emotional, because every time I think about this incident, I just think about me and my family. What if my family was in that type of incident? I don't know what I would do. I don't know how I would feel. I don't know how I would act. So I'm not judging the things that she's doing. I'm not judging the way that she's handling her trauma responses. One of the things that she pointed out in that last video was, she's like, why did my brother have to die before anybody cared? That's not true. People cared. People cared about your situation. People donated money. There was people out there. Yes, there was trolls. Yes, there was Reddits. There was groups. There was Discords that all hated you because you have done some very controversial things. You have said some very controversial things. You've stolen money. You have scammed people. I'm not trying to put the bad things on you right now because of trauma, but you're referring to everybody as a whole when it was very specific groups, very specific people that didn't like you and made your life harder, and you're just lumping everybody in one sum. People cared. People warned you. People donated you. People tried to advise you on it's dangerous to be homeless. It's dangerous to live out of a car. It's dangerous to stay near parks. People cared. It sucks to lose a brother. It sucks to have nobody. It sucks to basically have everybody that you were dependent on gone. The mom is in the hospital. The brother is gone. I'm not trying to put emotions in the video, and I'm not trying to make everybody sad. I'm not trying to make everybody feel however they should feel within these clips. You should take whatever you want from these videos, and I just want you to keep it open mind till the end of the video. Maybe we could talk about it in the comments. Maybe you could tell me how you feel, and I would be glad to discuss it with you. But people cared. And a lot of people overlooked a lot of the things that you did in life, and a lot of people understood a lot of the bad things you did in life and still supported you. You had help, you had chances, and I'm not saying it's your fault for not taking that chances. That's why people are telling her it's her fault, because she didn't take the opportunity when she had the chance to fix her situation. I don't agree with everybody telling her that it was her fault, because Donald Jr. was an adult too. He had a job. Mama was working as much as she could. Maybe she could have gone to a homeless shelter. There's a couple of videos going around that Tophia didn't want to send Mama to a homeless shelter. We don't really know the situation with that, but there was opportunities. There was chances, and that's why everybody is telling you it's your fault. Maybe you didn't want to take those opportunities and chances to change the situation you were in, because maybe you would have been alone. Maybe it would just been you and your brother fending off in the world without your mom. Maybe you could have got your dad back. There was various ways that this situation could have not played out and just gone a totally different way, and that's why everybody's telling you it's your fault. I don't agree with it. I think situations happen. I don't want to get religious on you guys, but I think situations happen for a reason. All we can do is take what we take from the incidents and grow and move on. And that's why I really think this might be the actual incident that pushes reality in Tophia's head, that things have to change. You can't keep doing this. You can't keep posting your life online. You can't keep just throwing everything that you're involved in online, because people are dangerous. People will go after you. They will make discords and Reddits and groups that attack you because they don't like you, because of the things you've done. You may have grown up and you may have fixed yourself from a lot of things that you did in the past, but the people don't care. People do not care. And once you cross their bad side, that's it. It takes a tremendous amount to get back on people's good side. And sometimes it's not even worth it. I'm sorry, Tophia. I'm sorry, Donald. I really am.
Okay, so I just recently, I posted that video, right? I'm so sick and tired of people telling me if my mom was in the hospital, if my brother was dead, I wouldn't be on the internet. Don't tell me how to grieve differently. I planned my brother's funeral. We have everything basically set up and ready, for his funeral. His friends are doing something for him Saturday. And I'm tired of people saying I set my family up because I escaped without any injuries. If I would have stayed in the car and never jumped out, I probably would have passed away, and people would have celebrated that. Let's talk about the internet and why the internet is so bad to the point where people don't have a place to live. Y'all showed up to hold on. I am so sick and tired of people coming on the internet saying, well, she just had a job. You called my brother's job and told his job he was a health hazard. What kind of people are you to tell me to get a job if I would have been fired? What does me having a house or me having a job have to do with gun violence? Because some guy couldn't steal my brother's car that wasn't his. What kind of a justice is it for people to say, well, you shouldn't have been talking about people's relatives when people have been talking about my dead sister and my dead grandmother first? If I was packing and I see you take a photo, I'm just gonna pop, okay? That's what it's going to come to. You better have some insurance. And don't say this is a threat, because I'm so sick and tired of people thinking it's okay. Maybe I gotta go to the extremes for people to realize to not take photos of me. That'll teach you to stop. I make thousands of dollars while you flop, okay, like a fish. She had you when she was on CRACK. You're a crack. You're a CRACK head baby. How about that? And then say, well, that's karma. So it's okay for you to start shit with me, talk about my dead relatives, and then say when she retaliates the way we started with her first, that's karma. You talked about my dead relatives first, and then don't want to take accountability for nothing. Y'all never want to take accountability for any of your actions. We had a place to stay. We had a place to live. They were willing to work with us. But you know what happened? The internet caused us to not have the place that we had last year, and then celebrated we didn't have a place and we were homeless. We had a place. We could have kept that place paid. I didn't want my brother to take the responsibility of paying all the bills himself. I helped as best as I could. My brother's dead. He's dead. I don't know how to feel. I'm trying not to read these comments, but it's just messing me up inside. If you just had a place. I did. Y'all didn't let me have a place. Y'all didn't care. And then tell me I'm supposed to shut up and not respond to people. What am I supposed to do? I watched my mom in the hospital. She has PTSD. She can't sleep. She's scared. I'm scared. My dad's in jail. He's very sick. I have to lose my dad and my brother all at once. And my mom, who I thought I lost. I don't know anything. I don't know why the guy did what he did. I don't even know who he was. All because he couldn't get in my brother's car and take it. My brother's dead. He sat on my brother dead and kidnapped my mom. Bro, it sucks. I can't process. I will never be able to process. I watched my brother die in front of me. He died in front of me. I can't even look at that picture of Cal Mitchell and see him smiling because it hurts. I picture him riding. He would go home like the day we were supposed to go out. His friend would go riding with him to Sonic, and he would be happy. He would wave at him through the car. He would wave at his friends. Go cruising. Enjoy life. Have fun. We would go to, tomorrow, Cars and Coffee, right? We can't even go because he's dead, I can't even enjoy life anymore. My joy was taken away, and nobody cared. Nobody cares. I can't eat sometimes. I feel guilty. I feel horrible. I feel bad. I beat myself up. I can't walk around. Every time I feel good, like I have a good outlook for the future, then I say, why am I not crying? Why am I not upset? Why don't I have a reaction? Why did I stop crying? Why did I stop being upset? I can't. I get to eat. I get to live life. I get to breathe. And I feel guilty. I feel so guilty. I'm so used to the routine we had. This morning we should have been door dashing. We should have been parked up somewhere and me going live saying, hey guys, somebody's sleeping next to me. I didn't tell anyone we was door dashing because I knew people would find some way to harass us and get his account taken down for door dashing. And when he finally got a job to help us, and he said we were going to get a place, I was so happy. And I wake up not knowing if it's trolls attacking me. And I didn't respond properly because of what trolls did to me. And I feel guilty. I said maybe if I stayed awake, he would be alive. Maybe If I didn't go to sleep, he'd be here and I could warn him, hey, you know, there's some guy coming towards us. You know, maybe if I would have encouraged him to not park there, maybe if we would have parked somewhere different, you know, we would have did things a little differently. We can't change life. We can't turn back time. You know, I wish I had a time machine to go back. I wish I had a time machine and warn him and be like, please, wake up. Save yourself. Save us. Help us, please. My brother was 27 years old and he's dead. And everyone has the nerve to say, well, maybe if you just had a place. We had a place. You got us evicted. And then you want to say, oh, you're blaming the internet because your brother died. If this harassment, if people would have stopped harassing me and left me alone, we would have never been in dangerous situations. I pleaded with people. It's dangerous out here. It's scary out here. It's not safe. No one wanted to listen. Oh, we gave you resources. Just go to an unsafe shelter. Like, what is wrong with you guys? What is wrong with you guys? You guys are not okay. You're not okay. You're the ones talking about you need to go to therapy. You need help. A lot of y'all need help badly. And for real, let's really get into it. You enable World of T-shirts to become an alcoholic. You enable Daniel Larson to be homeless and go out and get himself in trouble to almost the point where he was going to spend the rest of his life in prison. You want to sit here and absolve yourself and not take accountability and say it's not our fault. You are not the guy that unalived my brother. But you contributed to our unsafe environment. You contributed when you doxed me. You contributed when you swatted me. You contributed when you threatened me. I talked about some guy threatening me on my Insta story and how, basically if it was anyone else you would care, and all of a sudden, right after I did that, that incident happened to me. What is wrong with y'all? Why would I want to watch my brother die in front of me and live with trauma and PTSD for the rest of my life to set my family up? All of a sudden, it's because something happens to me that is so traumatic, you want to try to find every reason to blame me and say, well, she must have set him up because you don't want me to have any help. You are not empathetic. If you are sitting here saying, she was a bad person, but I feel sorry for her, that is not empathy. Spare me your empathy. If you were empathetic, you would not have to bring up I was a bad person. You would say, I'm sorry. I will laugh my ass all the way to the bank. You will laugh your ass to the grave, okay? With no life insurance. I hope some of y'all don't have life insurance when you go. And I hope your parents have to make GoFundMe saying, help us. Help us raise money to bury our loved one, because we can't afford it, okay? Because some of y'all need to go slowly. This isn't right. Not, oh, she was a bad person. I don't, like, she was a bad person, but no, you're not empathetic. You guys need help badly before you cause someone else to be in a situation like this. I am so sick and tired of people being threatened on this internet and no one is doing anything. And people going real life, sending people to people's doors. When is enough going to be enough before another life is lost? Before I have to hear somebody else lost their brother? Before I have to hear somebody else lost their life? Before I have someone on the internet that's real close that I know that I wake up one day and something's happened to them? Enough is enough. Haven't you done enough? My brother's dead and you're still trying to beat me down. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. You don't have to respond. You don't have to say anything to me. You don't have to be mad. You don't have to tell me off. Block me. Leave me alone. Enough is enough. It's crazy. This lady had the nerve. The same lady that I made a video about talking about, oh, I'm going to use my situation to profit off of people, and said that my family was set up. Tried to make, because from when I saw that, I was like, she's accusing me. You're a mom of 3, a firefighter's wife, and a cop's mother, a cop's son. Your son is a cop or whatever. And you're out here doing stuff like this on the internet, talking about setups? I don't even know what the guy's motive was for the reason why he point blank shot my brother, because he couldn't rob his car. I don't know who the guy was. Let me rant. Let me talk. Let me speak. Let me do what I need to do in my TikTok stories. Do not sit here and tell me I have no right, that if I speak on social media, I don't care about what's going on in my personal life. I want to sleep with my mom and I can't. I'm scared. I'm by myself and I'm scared. And don't worry, I'm in a safe place now, but I'm scared. Every time I go out, I have to watch my back. Every time someone, when I'm going in elevators and someone is in a hurry or rushes in the elevator, I'm scared. I am scared. I can't live my life like normal. Y'all ain't gonna have enough. Y'all don't even go to the hospital to see what my mom has to deal with, what I have to see every day. What my brother's friends have to relive and well, not relive because it wasn't there, but what my brother's friends have to go through, loss of sleep. Because, and that's another thing, for y'all to say he don't have friends, he has so much friends that showed out and supported me more than you could ever know, more than the internet has supported me. It's a damn shame. And my brother always said he never wanted to tell his friends he was in this situation because he never wanted them to worry. He was a guy that put everyone before himself, made sure everyone else was good before he was good. Always. I've got my mom's back. I'm going to take care of my mom. I'm going to step up because people don't believe I'm going to step up. I'm going to step up. For that lady to have the nerve to say I'm supposed to go get a job while I got trauma, I'm supposed to go immediately back into a job, you are insane. Why do you think I haven't been live? I've got trauma. I've got things I got to deal with. I can't just immediately just jump back into work. You got a lot of nerve to sit on the internet and make 1-minute videos profiting off of my situation, talking about how I'm going to profit off of people. You got some nerve while profiting off of my situation, running your gums. Enough is enough is enough. Leave me alone. From here on out, we're going to have protection and make sure we're safe. You continue to harass me, well, now we've got help. So you continue, we'll do it the legal way and go to court. I am not being threatened anymore. I am not going to be scared. Leave me alone. Stop excusing your bad behaviors and not taking accountability because you latch on locales to use your hateful bullying to be able to bully people because you bully locales. That's what it is. You don't bully anybody else. You bully locales because you can get away with it because they have disabilities and you know you can mess with people. You literally bully locales because they're vulnerable, because you know you can hit them where it really hurts. You don't pick on someone that doesn't have an intellectual disability. You only pick on people with intellectual disabilities. You only pick on people who you know you could get away with bullying because you know they're everyone's punching bag. I was everyone's punching bag for 4 years, and finally my brother dies, and everyone says, hey guys, let's stop making her a punching bag. You punched down on me for 4 years. Leave me alone. Let me grieve. That's all I'm going to say. This is the last of the story. For those of you who have been kind and left me messages, please stay safe. Take care of yourselves.
Now, before I say anything, if soccer mom of 3 boys, whatever the hell is saying, if somebody's actually like portraying this as a setup that Tophiachu wanted to do bad and harm to her family, you're disgusting. You're absolutely disgusting. But one of the couple things that I actually want to address within that video itself is that she blames us for not having a place to stay, getting evicted, and then maybe if she told everybody that her and her brother were door dashing, they would have gotten fired. That is half right and half wrong. Because one of the things that you have to understand about Tophia is that previously, at least in my video, she stayed at 2 different places. She had an apartment in my very first video, and then in the second video, she got evicted for that apartment for non-payment of rent. And then she ended up staying at a long stay hotel for the same reason when she got evicted for non-payment of rent. So one of the things that she really doesn't understand is that when people call these places and leave these reviews, they're the place I don't know. I don't know the place, the apartment, the hotel. I don't know if them are actually taking into account all these other reviews that everybody's telling them. But it really doesn't seem to me that an apartment or hotel is going to kick people out just because people are leaving reviews on this hotel and these people. One of the things that I can actually come to a conclusion is that maybe from all these reviews, from literally thousands of people leaving reviews on these people, maybe it caused the hotel and the apartment people to pay more attention to the Tophia situation and understand that maybe she doesn't have stable income as much as she put on the sign-up papers to get that hotel and to get that apartment, because one of the things that you actually have to prove is you have stable income. So maybe they put Donald as one of the stable incomes, so when all these reviews actually came in, they started to pay more attention to these people, and they actually realized that Donald may not have that stable of a job, and all the apartment and the hotel rent is coming from Tophia, and then they begin to understand that TikTok isn't really a job and it's more unstable. So that could be one of the reasons that they actually kicked you out for not all these reviews, but because the income that you're actually portraying wasn't actually as stable as you were making it. One of the things that I also want to address is that if we can't be empathetic without bringing up her past, then in all reality, we're not really empathetic. And why can't we leave her alone? Because Tophia, that's not how it works. You can't do things in the past. You can't repeatedly do bad things on the internet, especially, and just expect everybody to forget it just because you're going through a very traumatic thing. Yes, there are literally dozens of people that feel terrible for you. And yes, there are people that are switching up from literally talking bad about you to talking good about you just because you're going through this trauma response. But that doesn't take away from everything you did in the past. Once again, I feel terrible for not only you, your family, Donald, your dad, everybody. But that doesn't take away from the scamming, from the stealing of GoFundMes, from the talking about dead relatives. And yes, you can say that other people are doing those things to you, but you are a public figure. I don't want to say how much of a popular, actual, meaningful public figure you are, but public figures can't act the same way that normal people act because there are dozens more of you. Other people can dig into your past, conjoin together, collaborate like the Discords, like the Reddit, just to make your life harder. And if you do the same thing back, that's fuel to the fire. Not saying you have to be this angelic thing, but you have to be more Armstrong and more understanding that you can't do these things. You can't retaliate. You can't post while you're going through a serious traumatic response and expect people to understand that this is the way you're dealing with trauma, because other people understand that this may not be the actual way that you're supposed to deal with trauma. Maybe it's the way you're doing it, but this is not the way that you're supposed to be dealing with it. That's why people aren't leaving you alone. That's why people are making fun of you. That's why people on the internet are probably saying you set this up, because it's not saying that it's not the right way to grieve, but it's a very different way to grieve than what everybody else would do. And that's what people are paying more attention to. I don't think that's actually true. I think that you're just going through a terrible, horrible situation, but you have to understand things don't just go away just because you're going through a bad thing when you also did a bunch of bad things in the past.
But someone was promoting a shirt or something from the TikTok shop. Why was the guy laying there dead? And bullets were on him, and they made like bullet holes in the shirt to look like he got pew-pewed. I'm all for people promoting TikTok shops, right? And promoting products and stuff like that, and posting and, selling products, but you literally are portraying gun violence. You literally are portraying gun violence to sell a shirt. And my trauma, I know people are not responsible for people's traumas and triggers, but that was not a way to sell a t-shirt. And it had 0 likes. I was the first person upon that. And the crazy thing about it was, I saw that first because I saw that it had 0 likes, 0 comments. There are ways about posting something or selling something, but portraying gun violence and selling a t-shirt was not one of them. That was not it. I hope that company takes them down. I thought about it because I was like, let me screen record it, let me show people because this is crazy. But then, if other people are traumatized or triggered, I don't want to do that. That is so crazy. People need to get a hold of the TikTok shop and let them know, because that should not be allowed. That's crazy. And I want to address it because it's annoying me. The same reason the internet's blaming me for my brother's death, saying it's my fault because I didn't have a place. I didn't get a job. What does getting a job have to do with gun violence? My problem and my issue, and it was not blaming the internet, it was sort of blaming the internet for what led up to the situation. We had a place. People would call every single place we was at. They would find out. I would get dogs, and then they would harass us out of the place. The last job my brother had was Jimmy John's. Y'all tried to call his job at Jimmy John's and tell Jimmy John's that my brother was a health hazard, so he would lose his job. You talk about get a job, get a place, we do that, and then you guys cause us to get kicked out of places. Let's be for real. The literal fact that you're saying, oh wow, she's not attacking you, you didn't think about taking care of your mom. If my mom goes to a nursing home, if I put her in a nursing home, and I go and live my life, she's not going to have the will to live. She's scared. She really wants me to be with her. We're going to get a place together. She's working. She's like, are they going to get us a place together? And I said, yeah. I don't know why people that are not in the situation are trying to tell me what to do, because you think what's best. Considering the fact that mom of three boys was literally out here trying to say my family was set up. We don't even know why the guy did what he did. I can't even tell you guys nothing because it's still an active investigation. But y'all are trying to assume something when there's no information. Until the full facts are out, until it's not an active investigation, we won't know. And I'm so sick and tired of people beating me down and trying to say, well, maybe they were set up because she got unscathed. If I had stayed in that car and not jumped out, I could have been injured worse. Then I would be in the hospital, laying in the hospital bed, not visiting my mom, not being able to help take care of her if she got out of the hospital. We would both be injured. We would both have a hard time because people would have to visit me, they'd visit her, I would have to take care of her. I could have been unalived. He could have pew-pewed me in the front seat if I had stayed in the front seat. There could have been so much things. And I think God spared me from any injuries to help take care of my mom because he knew my mom needed me. You can't sit here and say, well, we gave you resources. That didn't work. You can't sit here and say, well, my friend lived where they lived, give them resources, and they didn't take any resources. You don't know what is going on in my life to sit here and try to lie to people and tell people, well, we gave them resources, they didn't take it. Gun violence happens every day. I'm afraid if I walk to my car, something's going to happen to me. It has nothing to do. You're blaming homeless people for gun violence. I'm afraid for other homeless people out there because what happened to me. And I see women that are about to be homeless with their kids. And it scares me. Because it's like, you could be in this situation. If they don't have room for you at a shelter, and you're saying, oh, we could just go to a shelter. And then people are like, well, we can't go to a shelter. It's too full. That scares me. I'm worried. Let's talk about the gun violence. The way you talk sounds like you're blaming kids that were in a school pew-pewing. And say, well, maybe if you had a place, or maybe if you wasn't there, that would have happened to you. It's gun violence. At the end of the day, it boils down to that man and what he did to my brother, and it being his fault, nobody else's fault. It is nobody else's fault. And when I blame the internet, I'm saying leading up to what happened. The reason why. I don't even know if it was targeted from online either. I can't rule that out. But again, it's an active investigation. I can't say too much. So for y'all to sit here and literally justify is so crazy. It's so crazy. This isn't going to be the last time you talk about my dead relatives. You bring up my dead sister. You bring up my dead grandmother. I bring up your dead relatives because you started with my dead relatives first. Then you try to say, oh, she talked about dead people's relatives. When you started with me first, for every action, there's a reaction. This isn't the last time because I know people are going to flock my TikTok talking about my dead brother, trying to trigger me because now they have this ammunition to use. When will you guys ever stop? I'm so sick and tired of the freaking think pieces. Mom of 3 boys who is a wife to a firefighter and a mother to a son who's a cop. Leave me alone. You keep responding to me to profit off of my situation, telling me I'm going to profit off of people's situation. I'm not going back and forth with you. My brother is dead. My brother is dead. I'm not trying to argue with you and go back and forth with you. You're a grown woman that lives in a house and has a place to live. You don't have to worry about the dangers of what's out there because you're sleeping out of your car. Never would I have ever thought sleeping in my car would cause my brother to be killed. We were just sleeping in our car. We wasn't hurting anybody. He didn't deserve that. And for you to try to deter people, to have empathy, and to help me, and to say that I'm going to use my situation to profit, and that I'm supposed to go get a job after I have trauma, what's wrong with you? Are you going to send kids that have trauma from school pew-pewings back to school and say, well, you need to go to school to get an education? I know this just happened, but I feel like you need to get back into the school. I feel like you need to get back to school. What? I've been a victim in some situations. Now that it's a situation where you can't say I'm not a victim, it makes you mad that you want to sit here and try to say I'm not a victim. I'm a victim. I watched my brother die before my eyes. I have to live without him. He was only 27 years old. My mom is in the hospital recovering. I cannot live life. Every time someone told me, take the moments of joy, take them. I can't even do that. I can't take moments of joy. I can't. I find joy. I beat myself up and say I don't deserve it. My brother's not here. You all got to take a step back. Reevaluate your life and your reality. This can happen to you. This can happen to anybody. And you don't have to be homeless for this to happen to. I'm tired of having to come on here and explain myself. And then people say, well, you're in Insta stories going back to your same old ways. You're not taking care of yourself. Your brother's dead. Your mom's in the hospital. What are you doing? Why are you on here arguing with people? Why are people online giving freaking think pieces about a situation and deterring people from helping me, deterring people from having empathy, and telling people, don't help her, make her get a job. Oh, I'm supposed to leave my mom in the hospital, get a job with trauma, and have a mental breakdown in the middle of my job and not perform properly because you want me to not be a victim when I'm literally a victim in this situation. It is something so traumatic that you will never get out of your head. Imagine having to look over and see your family member died right before your eyes. Look over. Because the first time I looked over, I'm going to be honest, and I didn't say this. The first time I looked over, I thought he was asleep because he usually sleeps with his mouth open. Kind of like my mom. So his mouth was open, so I thought maybe, this wasn't a serious situation. Because I said, maybe his troll's trying to, get us to get a reaction. So I, put my head back under the covers because I was like, he looks like he's asleep. He's not reacting. Usually my brother reacts, gets us to safety. He didn't. So in that moment, I thought it was trolls trying to get a reaction. He's like, oh, just leave it, they'll go away. That's what I thought. But then when my mom kind of alerted me, because I was waking up at that time, I knew I was still waking up. I was asleep. I know something's not right. And when I looked over, my brother was dead. I can't get that image out of my head, no matter how hard I try. All because he couldn't have my brother's car. He couldn't have it. It's hard to find moments of joy and look to the future and say, be happy, because I can't find that happiness. My joy was taken from me. It was taken. I can't. Thank you for all the messages. And everyone who's been so kind, all of his friends. We're all taking it hard, just like them. They go to sleep, they think about him, they can't sleep. He was a good kid. He was there for everyone. He took care of everyone before he took care of himself. Not a single person had anything negative to say about my brother. The so-called friends that were pretending to be his friends, like people were saying on the internet, they're not his real friends. They feel sorry for him. Even though they never knew the extent of our situation because I never told anyone, He never wanted to tell anyone. He didn't want people to worry. He was that kind of guy, took care of everyone before he took care of himself. Whenever someone needed something and they're like, oh, my car broke down. I got you. I'm gonna be over. He would have us wait. He would be like, wait, you know, because usually we had 2 cars. He would be like, wait here. I know. I gotta go help my friend. I'm like, sure, I understood. You know, he was that guy that was like, let me be there. I learned from this, and this. Don't do this. You need a car? Help me. He told me, one of my one of my friend's truck broke down. Help me get on Marketplace for a car. I'm like, yeah, sure. You know, oh, you need something? I'm there. I got you. He was always that person. Sorry. I don't owe anyone an explanation. But 3 mom of 3 boys, please. I'm not responding back and forth to you. You want to argue with me and you're arguing with someone that's been through trauma. You should know yourself. Your son goes out in the line of duty every day, and you got to worry whether or not he's going to come back home and safe to you. You live this life because you have a husband who's a firefighter as well, who could go out in the line of work and not come back. Why are you going back and forth with someone that has trauma, knowing that you have family that is putting their life on the line to protect people? Your son could come back, you know, gun violence could happen, and he could be in this situation. And not because he's homeless, because he's out there protecting the people. And you as a person has no empathy, considering your family is putting themselves in the line of fire to protect people. I am not going back and forth with her. I'm not going back and forth with her. And also, I'm going to state this. Let's stop being stuck on Karen's court, saying Karen was the problem, Karen was to blame. Leave Aunt Karen alone and stop blaming her and take responsibility for yourselves. Aunt Karen said it, and I'm going to say it too. The Reddit was used to stalk and harass me. You don't want to take accountability for what y'all was doing. You use locales. You use people with intellectual disabilities to constantly harass them because you could get away with it. I was used as everyone's punching bag for years. Punching bag. I'm so sick and tired of people placing blame on other people, saying it was this person's fault. It was this person's fault. The only fault it is when it comes to why my brother's unalive. Don't blame on Karen and say she's the reason why my brother's unalive. That man, and only that man that pew-pewed my brother, is the issue. My issue in blaming people, not with this, what led up to the situation, is the harassment, the stalking. Type in my username on TikTok and you'll see a video of a picture of me sitting at the library with my back turned because someone took a picture of me. Going to the library taking pictures of me. Screaming my name when I was in my brother's car one time. Driving by and harassing me. And then say, well, you know what, we're not the problem, you are. What? You called my brother's job and said he was a health hazard, so he would get fired and wouldn't have no money to help us because you wanted to keep me homeless. It didn't work because his job was willing to work with him. Then, you know, one time I was live and the DoorDash thing went off and I said, oh fuck, I thought people was going to try to... I thought people... Sorry, was going to try to DoorDash stuff and pull pranks and try to find my brother's DoorDash name in hopes that they got him as a dasher and then start leaving negative reviews and causing us not to be able to dash. That's why sometimes I couldn't go live all the time. We were dashing at night sometimes. I didn't want to jeopardize him trying to help my family get out of this.
Now, honestly, one of the things I can actually agree with what Tophiachu's saying is that mom of 3 boys, if she's actually continuing to talk about Tophiachu's situation and continuously responding to basically just Tophiachu's rants and responses, you're profiting off the situation and you should really shut the fuck up. Not saying that you're not allowed to have your own opinion, but if you are constantly making videos about the situation, people obviously want to see more responses and just content about this situation, and it's not yours to profit off of. It's not yours to continue to talk about it. You can make 1 or 2 videos talking about the situation, giving your own opinions, giving your own thoughts, but if you are continuously doing that, you're profiting off it and you should probably stop. But one of the reasons that people are actually not calling her a victim in this situation is because the reason that she claims she's a victim is because she's a victim of everybody harassing her and what led up to the situation. But that is the same thing she has been using for every single situation, every single scenario that she's had in the past. When she got kicked out of the apartment, she blamed everybody else, calling herself a victim because people left reviews and marks and whatever on the apartment, harassed her, sent SWAT teams, sent police there. That's why she's saying she's a victim. But in all reality, if you actually knew the situation, she got evicted from that first apartment because it was completely dirty and she didn't pay rent. And then going on to the second situation when she was living in that long stay hotel, when she was dealing with the whole squid situation, one of the reasons that she actually got kicked out of the hotel itself was because non-payment of rent. But that goes into the situation that was talking about with your brother Donald. Donald's job didn't fire him because of the reviews and everything that was being left on the thing. You said that they were actually giving him a chance. So there was some other reason that he actually got fired from that job. Just like how there was other reasons from what you're saying that you got evicted from that apartment, that you got evicted from the hotel, and that what led up to the situation. She's saying that she's a victim for people harassing her from what led up to the situation. But people are saying if you actually understood the situation you're in, on how you are kind of a public figure and that people do not like you because of the controversial things you did in the past, people are going to harass you. So because you are in this situation, this special situation that not a lot of people deal with, you have to tailor your actions and tailor your daily life to deal with these things. So i.e. getting a place to stay so you're not staying out and harassed and people are taking pictures of you through the back at the library or whatever. So maybe you can get a hotel. You have to basically protect yourself. And you have to overprotect yourself, be over aware about the things and the situations that are going on around you because you are a public figure. Yes, it may suck that you actually have to take these extra precautions, and you may feel like that you have the right to do whatever you want, like going live after you're dealing with a very traumatic thing, but that's why people are getting on. That's why people are getting on about you for. Not everybody would go live or record a video directly after the most traumatic event in their life. Not a lot of people would blame the entire internet for getting kicked out of an apartment, getting kicked out of a hotel, when we saw videos and evidence yourselves that you left the apartment and the hotel in complete disarray. Right now in this whole situation, I could definitely see two groups coming out from this situation. One group that completely doesn't understand everything that Tophia is going on. They're blaming her, trying to make conspiracy theories about the whole situation. And then there's the other group that completely, they feel really bad. They're having empathy and they're having sympathy, but at the same time, they're still understanding that Tophia is not really the greatest of person, but she's going through something very traumatic right now. So it's not really fair for her to be lumping everybody into the same category. And that's why people could be understanding that maybe she doesn't really feel as bad as she is because she's not doing the right things that she should. She's not portraying herself in the right way that she should be doing. And she's still recording and just posting her feelings, not really listening to everybody telling her you shouldn't be doing that. From the cops to her TikTok followers, all the way to her family members. And in all reality, I feel like I'm directly in the middle of these two because I can understand that she's done some very controversial things and I don't really like a lot of the things that she does. I never really wanted to see her do bad. I always wanted to see her do good as a person, but I can understand everybody else telling her in this situation that you're not handling this the way you actually should be. You're not basically ignoring all the people telling you that it's your fault. You're not really giving the right attention to the right things, like your mother and all the people that are actually trying to help you right now. Because yes, you're posting these stories and you're posting these lives about you giving thanks to all the people that are helping you, but those are like 13 seconds. These videos, these clips are like 8 minutes long, and you're just responding to all the controversy and the trauma and telling everybody that you're doing this, you're doing that, basically screw everybody in this whole situation and that everybody's to blame, when in all reality, everybody, literally everybody, understands the full context of the situation. And I don't want to say she's nitpicking or cherry picking everything, but she's not giving the right attention to the things in understanding that it's not everybody's fault. That what led up to the situation, that everybody had different parts to play. There were groups that were controversial. There were groups that were attacking her, but the only reason that they were attacking her, the only reason that they were controversial was because of the fuel that she gave them through the constant getting kicked out of apartments and hotels for various reasons that were all of her own, not because of us. And then her blaming all of us, her basically getting harassed, getting kicked out of jobs where I don't really understand and believe that, but maybe there was different existential circumstances. She's blaming everybody else. And if she just took a little bit of accountability for everything that she went through, she could start to understand that it's not her fault entirely. It's not our fault entirely. But what is kind of her fault is the fact that she didn't protect herself in the rightful way that she should. And there was even videos going around about Donald not attacking, but telling Tophia that we can't keep doing this. We can't have people coming to the house and harassing us and basically harassing our family in every point of life. And if this is going to keep going on, maybe you shouldn't be going live. Maybe you should stop being a live streamer. But even in the video itself, you can actually see that Tophia doesn't really care about, I don't want to say that she doesn't care about anybody but herself, but back then, in the past, she really put a lot of heart into keeping what she wanted to keep going and not really doing what's best for the family.
So I told you need to cut your shit out.
I didn't do anything. I haven't done nothing.
You keep doing this online shit and it's fucking getting sketched out.
I didn't do nothing.
People shouldn't be trying to come inside the fucking door like that.
Well, if you don't like that, then call the police.
I'm not gonna call the police.
Well,
you shouldn't be in this situation.
Okay, well, how are we gonna pay for a room we don't have? You pay for it then.
Next time I'm not gonna be home and somebody's gonna fucking march right in.
I didn't do anything. I'm not the one who's doing nothing. And they come from her live. They mention on hers.
Well, I don't know.
I didn't even do
I
nothing.
just don't like this live bullshit. It's a bunch of bullshit.
I have a right to go live.
Not when it puts everybody in fucking danger.
It's her live stream. It's not mine. You tell her about her live stream. They message on her live stream. They don't say anything about mine.
Stop with all this dumb shit. No. And people are gonna fucking know.
Well, because you said something. I didn't say nothing.
Doesn't matter. I'm gonna say something. It's fucking stupid. I'm getting tired of this shit.
Well, I'm not gonna start going live. You tell her something then. Don't tell
Both of
me.
you guys are both putting us in fucking danger.
They're not coming from my live. Nobody says anything. They say it on her
They
live.
have messages. He showed me the messages on the phone.
It's her station head.
Clearly,
That's where they come from.
it clearly said on the messages.
I'm not arguing with you.
It said Tophia on the messages that he showed me at the fucking door.
I'm not gonna argue with
Next
you.
time somebody comes to the door, I'm gonna let them come in. Because that's what you clearly fucking want.
Well, let them come in.
It's because of those videos. It's because of those clips that's why it's hard for people to have empathy. That's why it's hard for people to have sympathy, because there was plenty of time in the past for you to stop all the shenanigans, all this stuff that led up to this situation, and you didn't. You just wanted to do what you wanted to do. And I'm sorry that this happened, but this is the result of ignoring everybody and just doing what you want to do when there was literally people in your life telling you, we can't keep doing this. I'm sorry.
So those videos that people are posting, literally like justifying what happened to me, right? You do know that if you take pieces of my live stream, I have the whole recording. Do you want me to whip out the full recording? You act like people, for every action, there's a reaction. I always say that. So why are you acting like I just randomly attack people? I'll pull up my whole live stream. If you want to go there with taking pieces of my live stream, it's not going to work anymore. That's why my live streams are fully recorded. So people can't do stuff like that. I mean, if you could play that game, I could pull up my whole live stream and play what you wouldn't play. We all know why you won't play that. Come on. You know why you won't play that. Sorry, my voice sounds. I just woke up. Context. Give context. You don't want to give context? Then I'll give context. You don't want to hold yourselves accountable? Well, I'll make sure you be held accountable. I'm so sick and tired of people not being held accountable for the reason why we were in this situation, saying, oh no, she wants to blame us. Like, they're already on Reddit saying, oh, she's blaming us. First of all, would you have let me live somewhere, or are you going to leave fake reviews again and get me evicted? Not even evicted, because I don't have any evictions. Are you going to get me thrown out of that place? You would have tried to find where I was at and tried to get me kicked out. Let's be 100% for real. You guys do not want to take accountability for stalking and harassing someone on Reddit. Wow. I mean, if you really want to go there, the last place we were at, we went to go pay, and they asked us if we were selling furniture, and I said no. They said, well, people are calling saying that you're selling furniture out of your room. I was like, what the heck? Because a certain someone doxed us. Let's be for real. You could look at a Motel 6 that we never stayed at, where people left a review. You could go to my old apartments and see the reviews. You're leaving evidence everywhere you go. You know that, right, dummy? And then you're sitting here saying, like, oh, it's not us. The one place I lived at that was like an apartment-style living. You want to know what happened? Someone took a video and said, oh, I'm going to report them to my dad. He's the manager here. I'm going to get him kicked out. They were fine with it until they wasn't, and we ended up getting kicked out. Why? Because someone took a video of us. Let's not lie. You looked at the background of my walls and tried to find where I was living. I have proof where people literally was trying to find my background because they were like, oh, orange walls. Let's find out where she's at. You guys literally are horrible human beings. Now all of a sudden you want to feel sorry for people. World of T-shirts has cirrhosis of the liver because he's been drinking himself. All those people that claim to be his friends, you're pieces of POSs. Because you're hanging around him for clout. You're not getting him help. You're letting him drink himself away, drink his life away. Now he has cirrhosis of the liver, and everyone wants to care. Where was this caring when you were literally beating down on him? And Daniel Larson. Let's get into it. Because Daniel Larson needs some serious help. It is one trauma after another, and I can't mentally process any of it. The cops constantly called. Men from dating apps showing up to my door. Struggling to keep a place. Why do you think when I went live that one time and said, I won't be able to go live when my brother gets a place because he doesn't want people to know where we live? Basically, literally, that's what I said. Like, my brother told me I can't go live because people will find out where we live and get us evicted. Use your common sense. That live stream screen recorded too. You never want to take accountability for your actions. You're always blaming someone. You blamed on Karen for Karen's court. Okay, you said she bullied me. No. And then you have this Reddit, which she's right, where you're literally stalking me. Is she stalking me now? No, you are. You're the one stalking me now. Is Aunt Karen actively harassing me now? No, you're actively harassing me now. You want to look and flock to the people who were a part of my situation and blame them. Let's be for real about Squid. She didn't indirectly unalive my brother, but you contributed to helping the trolls and doing what you did by making that video, letting everybody know we were out in the streets, sleeping out of our car. You put us in an unsafe situation because I wasn't going to tell anyone because my situation was already unsafe to begin with. You put us in that unsafe situation. Like, she didn't have to make that video. And it's not fair that people get to keep their jobs for breaking the job's rules, because I don't think that should be allowed. They had to tell us we had to hurry up and get out so you can post that we left our room dirty because we didn't have time to clean our room, because my brother did not want to deal with the other maid too. There was another maid that was causing problems with us.
Bitch, I'm a housekeeper.
And he said, if she starts anything with me, I'm going to say anything. You stay here, I'll handle the room. The only stuff he left was the garbage. The refrigerator full of food was groceries we had just bought to make our dinners. Brand new meats and foods and things that we were going to cook with. That's not old food. It's so crazy. Nobody else wants to take accountability for the contribution to my harassment, to my suffering, to my traumatic incidences that happened, to everything. You don't want to take accountability for it. And I'm so sick and tired of the Reddit being like, we didn't do that. Okay, keep denying what I have proof of and I'll share it to my story. We'll really see because if you don't think sharing someone's location or constantly showing up and taking secret photos and plastering it on your Reddit is not unsafe, and you're literally sitting here because I have proof that photos of me that were secretly taken at the library were posted on Reddit. Let's be 100%. Okay, I have those. You want to sit here and deny that all day long? Well, there's multiple and ample proof that you were stalking and doxing and harassing everywhere. Even there's photos of me at the park saying Tophiachu spotted. Let's not lie. I know there's more than one Reddit, but y'all are the same. I got proof from either. So let's go. This is one fight that you're not going to win. This is one instance you're not going to escape. If you think you don't have to hold yourselves accountable because you come to lie to the internet, I was receiving photos, so don't, people telling me to be careful to be safe. You put me in an unsafe situation, and you refuse to not acknowledge it. I don't even know what the guy's motives was. I feel like it's a wrong place, wrong time, but then again, I can't rule out the internet. Let's be for real. You want to go there? I will go there. If I was y'all with that Reddit, I would take it down right now because you don't know that guy's motives. Someone else could do the same thing to you they did to me, and I wouldn't want that to happen.
Now, I'm pretty sure you can understand that it's been a couple of days and like a while since the actual incident happened. So all the emotions and all the empathy has gone down a bit. So we're able to talk a little bit more about how Tophiachu is actually handling the situation. And one of the things that she's actually focusing on is the trolls. She's focusing on everybody talking crap. She's focusing on everybody blaming her for the situation while her mom's in the hospital. Now, I'm not saying that she's wrong for this because, once again, this could be the way that she's dealing with the whole trauma responses, but this is why people are getting on to you. People are blaming you for not focusing on your family. People are blaming you for literally posting story after story after story after story, trying to justify the situation, trying to justify your actions, and basically telling everybody that to leave me alone, just to let me do what I want to do. But this goes back to you being a public figure. You can't be a public figure, a controversial public figure, a public figure that's done so many things, and now that you're going through a horrible thing, that you just expect everybody to leave you alone. That's not how it's happened. Well, yes, I can understand that the Reddit was probably a huge bit in the whole harassment that you're actually dealing with, but this goes back into you have to protecting yourself. You have to understand that you're a public figure, you're a controversial public figure, so you have to protect yourself a little more than actually a normal person actually has to do. So maybe you have to get an apartment. Maybe you have to, go without buying food or fast food. Maybe you have to miss a car payment, miss the insurance payment, just to keep the rent going so you're not out on the streets, you're not exposed to everybody's constant harassment. And this goes into her saying that she basically blames Squid for exposing her and her family being homeless right after getting kicked out of the hotel. And while I can understand her, I can understand her logic in thinking that maybe Squid, during that whole controversial time, I made a video about it if you guys are actually interested in learning more about the situation. But Squid and Tophia didn't really get along that well, and there were some incidents that caused each other to basically dox themselves. It was a messy situation. Squid got doxed, Tophia got doxed. So in all reality, we don't really understand who was responsible for outing everybody. It was a mess. But I don't really think it's fair for her to blame Squid for contributing to the constant harassment that she's actually going through, because yes, Squid got into her own controversial situation, her getting doxed, but at the same time, she stopped talking about her. At some point, Squid understood that contributing to this whole controversy and propelling all of this negativity in Tophiachu's life when she's the one actually dealing with everything. And Squid, she gets the constant harassment online, but she is more of a self-protective person. She doesn't really have to deal with it if she doesn't want to. She understood at some point it's not right to keep contributing to this bad person situation, so she stopped. But that can't give you the okay for blaming her just because she ended up exposing you for you exposing her, and then the whole messed up situation. If you understood that there was not a safe situation right after Squid exposed your homelessness or exposed your location, then you should have left. That should have been one of the indications that you can't just stay in the place or stay outside, because people are going to dox you and harass you. And I'm pretty sure you already had that idea from the Reddit taking pictures of you and continuously talking about your location. So you understood this way before the Squid ever got in the situation. Now I actually have a lot more clips for us to go through, but I'm not going to put them in this video, because if I put every single clip that I have in this one video, the video is going to be 2 hours long. And I don't want to speed up or cut out any context within any clip that I have, because I want you guys to understand the full context and the full empathy and everything that she's trying to say and portray all the feelings that she does. Because even though I don't agree with a lot of the things that she's actually talking about in the video, and even though I understand myself that she is, I don't want to say she's wrong, but she's kind of misconstruing all the situation and all the reasoning that she thinks everything is happening. I want you guys to understand the full context, and I want you guys to understand that maybe a lot of people actually contributed to the harassment and to outing her and her location, but at the same time, it's not really her fault, but there was a lot of preventable things that she could have done. There was a lot of opportunities. There were a lot of people helping her. There was a lot of people on her side, while there was a lot of people not on her side. And no matter what's going on, no matter if she's getting kicked out of an apartment, if she's getting kicked out of a hotel, if she's going through her most traumatic event, she's focusing on the negativity. She's focusing on the people that are constantly talking bad about her, instead of just, brushing them off and focusing on all the people that are actually helping her. Because even though I cut out a lot of clips, because I probably had over 50 clips and I could cut them all the way down to just the most important ones, she just focuses constantly on the negativity. Yeah, she does give a little thank you for all the help, thank you for the donations, thank you to all the good people that are actually supporting me, but she's feeding the negativity. She's feeding the trolls. She's feeding the harassment. And she has to understand that even though she's going through this traumatic event, people don't care. I care, because I have genuine empathy and sympathy for somebody that's going through this horrible situation, but people don't care. Just because you're going through something and you're forgetting, or you don't want to mention all the controversies and negative things you did in the past, people aren't going to do that. They will remind you of all the things and say you deserve this, and say that this is payback and retribution and revenge, and just for everything that you did in the past. And while I don't agree with it, I can understand it. I can understand that people will not forget what you did, and you can't blame them for not forgetting. And you can't blame them for bringing it up in today. And the only thing you can do is just ignore them. The only thing you can do is just focus on what you have to focus on. It doesn't seem like that's what she's doing. Like, yeah, she's doing a lot of things in the background. Yeah, she's probably taking care of herself, her family, her mother. But she's coming on to TikTok and basically throwing all this out for Soccer Mama 3 to think that she set up the thing for everybody else to make their own scenarios and situations in their videos about her going through this traumatic event to profit off her. She's giving all them fuel. And maybe if she just stopped, or at least just talked positively about the whole situation, even though it's a terrible negative situation that she's going through, if she just was a little more positive or focused on the people that are being positive and trying to help her, then the trolls and the people on Reddit and the Discord, they wouldn't have the ammunition that they actually have. Now, I don't want to make this video too long, because I'm pretty sure you guys got a good understanding of what's going on until this point, and I'm pretty sure you guys have a good understanding of how I feel about the situation and how everybody else feels about the situation, and how there's two groups of people that agree with her, disagree with her. But at the end of the day, I just want to say that I'm sorry. I am terribly sorry, Tophia, and people are harassing you, and I don't think it's right. People are making fun of you. They have made fun of you. They've harassed you. They've done everything for a very long time, and I don't think it's right. And I'm pretty sure the people on my channel that have watched the past three videos of you that on my channel, I'm pretty sure they can see that I never wanted anything bad to happen to you. I never wanted anything negative to happen to you, and I always wish you the best. And I know you've never seen this video. I know you've never seen any of my videos, but I've always trying to give you a little bit of advice on what you should do. On maybe just try not to focus on a lot of negative people nowadays, because you can't fight everybody. You can't fight all the negative people out there. There's a lot more of them than there is of you. And I just want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Tophia. I'm sorry, Tophia's mom. And I'm sorry, Donald Jr. And I'm not trying to make this anything. I'm not trying to, make it a big thing on my channel, but I am truly, truly sorry. And I'm sorry that happened to you. And I I wish you the best. I wish the Tophia family the best, and I wish Donald a good rest. I hope you guys enjoy the video, and watch out for the next video, episode 5 of Tophia, because we're going to continue on with the story and trying to understand everything all up until today's point. So I hope you guys have a good night.